What we're looking at here is a Casablanca Low Ceiling Series in the antique brass finish, and this fan dates to April of 1985. It's got these oak color blades. I think they're oak, but I'm not too good with blade finishes. And as you can see, it uses Slumber Five, which is quite uncommon. It also has a low ceiling adapter. So this is pretty much a Casablanca Four Seasons, essentially, but it's called the Low Ceiling Series. It's basically a Four Seasons unipack. It would have had a light, but when I bought this, the light kit was taken off. And it's essentially just a Four Seasons with a low ceiling adapter, pretty much. And I think it also had light lifter, but I could be wrong. I'm going to start this fan off on speed 1. So this fan, like I said, uses Slumber 5, and when I got it, it had bad bearings, and it also had an extremely tarnished bottom faceplate. Like, the finish was really bad on that bottom faceplate. So thankfully I had a spare faceplate for the housing. So now it looks decent. Still not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. And if you ever work on a fan with Slumber 5, it is a nightmare. It is a total nightmare. The ribbon cables are so delicate. Like, any slight wrong movement will rip them. I don't know who thought Slumber 5 was a good idea. Like, the idea is good, but the way they carried it out is not good. I did manage to replace the bearings in this fan while being extremely careful handling the Slumber 5 components. And thankfully it all worked out just fine. Very, very, very tedious, but if you ever mess with the Slumber 5 components, you are taking a big risk of breaking them. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, speed 2. This does use an Astrosin motor, and you know how the bearings can be in those things. The bearings were really bad, so I'm really glad it all worked out. We'll go to speed 3. I do love the 5-speed click knob on the side. Now, something I've always wondered was, what is the failure rate on these Slumber 5 systems? I've had 4 Slumber 5 fans in the past, none of which had failed Slumber 5. They all work just fine. And the funny thing is, every Slumber 5 fan that I've had bad bearings. And if a fan has bad bearings, it means it was running a lot in its life, because it takes a lot to wear those bearings out. I've heard that they do have a high failure rate, but the only failure I've ever seen in Slumber 5 is broken ribbon cables. So if somebody has any information on that, please let me know, because I am very curious to know that. Alright, here's speed 4. Slumber 5 and its ribbon cables are designed so poorly. I was told by another collector that the Casablanca office staff called Slumber 5 the boomerang because they would always come back for service. That's how bad it was. I mean, if you bought a Slumber 5 fan with no light and you wanted to add a light, I mean, just tucking the wires away into the switch housing would snap the ribbon cable. And here's speed 5. It shakes a tiny bit, but because of the way the LCA is designed, it's not really moving around really at all. I guess we can do spin down on this one. The flywheel on this fan is still good. However, the little rubber arms in there are like bent to the side. I don't know how well you can see that, but I think that's what happened from just the torque over the years of the fan. Somebody could have left it on the highest speed and had it on a light switch, and they kept turning it on like that, and just that torque damaged the flywheel. But it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I think it's fine. But yeah, that's about all I have for the Casablanca Low Ceiling Series.